Hello and welcome to our very special live stream Q&A with upcoming and local musician Veloso. My name is Chris and I'm here with my classmate Jaime, and we're going to be your host for today's stream. In our freelance video class, we had the awesome opportunity to work on a music video with Ethan, and today we get the chance to sit down and have a little conversation with him. So let's get started. Ethan, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, in my short life of 21 years, I was born and raised in Winnipeg. Haven't really done much outside of Winnipeg, but I always was really attached to music at a young age. I went into music lessons for guitar and piano, and they put me into a band there. So that was kind of my first experience doing music with a group of people and doing live stuff and all that. So I really fell in love with it at a young age, and growing up, it was just hard for me to grow away from it. So it was something I was always attached to, and it's been a hobby of mine. So it brings a lot of pleasure to me, and it's just a good way to pass the time.
Awesome, sweet. So how long have you been making or producing music?
I started doing it on my own in my bedroom, just making my own original tracks at around 13 in grade 8. And then I would just upload it to YouTube, and then, yeah, just kept getting experience from there, getting new plugins and programs like FL and getting better. And yeah, it's just when it's a hobby, it's a lot easier. You're just doing it for fun, and then, the experience and accomplishments come kind of as a side effect.
Would you say when it's a hobby that there's not a lot of pressure compared to when you are trying to put out a product?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, like when there's people who are trying to strive to be professional artists, there is a lot more pressure that way. I mean, that being said, I wouldn't be mad if my music did take off, but I'm kind of just playing it like a plan A, plan B kind of thing with going to school at the same time. But yeah, like I think there definitely is a lot more pressure in that sense because it is a really saturated market to get into. So it can be very hard to get some traction and make some noise.
So what made you interested in becoming a musician?
I think just as a little kid, I would always see on TV like these big stars growing up, and I always wondered how you would do it. So eventually, I realized I could just do it at home with how technology was coming around and people just making music in their rooms with on their computers with programs. So I started just doing that, and then kind of became my own little musician in my own little town, and then just started growing from there, basically.
Yeah, no, I have a couple cousins who are like started off as hobbies and they're really trying to progress their music now. But my question for you, and also I had the same question for my cousins, what were like some of your biggest influences in music? Like who did you look up to?
I think one of my biggest early influences was Frank Ocean, because before
Nice.
you kind of just listen to the radio and stuff like that, and then as you get older, you start listening to your own taste with stuff on your phone like Apple Music and Spotify. And when I heard Blonde for the first time, like it really took me back. Like I was like, wow, this is like something very different, and there's some deeper meaning behind here with the storytelling and the whole production and everything. So I would say Frank Ocean was my biggest first influence, and just the way that he makes his music is so much different than other people.
Yeah, he's great. Like he doesn't have much out, but what he does have is really
Yeah,
great.
right.
Yeah.
Um, so what would you say your ultimate goal is as a musician?
It's tough to say because my dad would always kind of preach to me like you should have a plan B because obviously doing music is hard to make it. But I would say like my biggest goal, I guess, would be to make a name for myself in this city and maybe have some kind of a legacy, something like Burton Cummings has, where he has his own theater, and like really grow the local scene for music in Winnipeg because there's not too many that you see at least doing more like urban style music with hip hop or R&B for big artists that way. So that's maybe what I would think.
So what is your creative process like when you are writing and producing music? Like what goes through the whole process and what goes through your head?
So first, I always start with the beat. Like I'm usually in a certain kind of mood. So that's always will depend how the song goes. So I start with producing the beat, start with like the melodies, the synth sounds and all that, and then bring the drums into it, gives it a little more flavor. And then after that, I have a whole sound and vibe for a song, and then I'll write the lyrics around that. Sometimes just jotting out noises and see what sounds good, and then putting words around that.
Nice.
And do you do everything yourself, like producing, like singing, mixing, everything?
Yeah, I've always kind of been the person who's like a very hands-on guy, and I like to have control over everything. And making songs at a young age, I didn't have like the resources of someone who can mix my songs or someone who could produce a track for me. So I kind of just started learning how to do it all myself, and as time went on, you get better at it. But yeah, that's basically why I kind of make time goes on, it's good also to reach out to other people and get, like another lens on something.
So, for some of your music, like, does any personal experience go into it? Like when you're writing, like, any heartbreak, anything
Oh
like,
yeah, for sure. I would say it's hardest to write a song if you don't have an actual like meaning or story behind it. Like if, for example, way back then I experienced a breakup when I was younger. That was like the easiest way because the words would just like flow out of you. You have so much emotion. So yeah, I would definitely say um, there like if you have a story that you're influencing behind your song, it's a lot easier to write something that way.
So you said before, like you want to kind of have like that legacy, kind of like Burton Cummings. But with that, do you ever want to expand like outside of Winnipeg, like kind of maybe move to a different city or do something else somewhere other than
Yeah, for
Winnipeg?
sure. I think that would be definitely a good opportunity, like to grow your fan base, obviously, and venture out into different demographics. But it's definitely challenging. It comes with some challenges too, like funds and stuff like that. But if the opportunity came, I would definitely do something like that for sure.
yeah, like you talk about traveling. I mean, like some great ideas could be like getting into some local music festivals, in other cities. Like I'm not too sure what all the music festivals are, but I'm pretty sure there's some where local artists can enroll. And also, have you ever thought about applying for grants? Because there are grants available in Manitoba for musicians and filmmakers and so on.
I've never thought about doing something like that, but I think that would definitely be something that I like a look towards artists.
Yeah.
Um, on that, is there any like a certain genre of music that you would want to make that you've never gotten the chance to? If so, like which kind of which one?
Sorry, could you just repeat that question? My cat was just in the room fooling around.
Oh,
I had to.
yeah, for sure. So is there a certain genre of music that you want to make that you've never gotten the chance to or just never really tried out?
Yeah, I would say probably like dance and house music. It's something that I've been listening to a lot recently and I enjoy a lot listening to. I just like the energy and high tempo. I think that would be something to experiment with. That would be fun. I always do try to experiment and try different genres on my own, but I don't actually release them because it doesn't sound as good. I'm just trying it out. But yeah, I would say dance would probably be one that I'd be interested in for sure.
Nice. Can you just tell us a little bit about your latest project and what the inspiration about it, like what was behind it, like the inspiration?
My latest project was like a music video that I did with Nick, probably Control, the single. And the inspiration behind that, I actually wrote that song like yeah, 3 years ago almost actually, like during COVID. And I was just like isolated at home. It was just such a like gloomy time. So that's what made me start out with the beat of that song. And then yeah, it was just like kind of a lonely time and all that. So that's what kind of made influence the lyrics and stuff like that. So
So for that we're actually just gonna watch the video that you've been talking about, just so that everyone watching can see what you guys were working on, and yeah, we'll take a look at
Right
that.
on.
Cause all you do is run my mind, and all I need is to find some time. Baby, you know I don't wanna try. Don't make me lose mine. Don't make me lose. Damn. I fell in love when I walked down here. Looked at the snow fall down on my fears. But if you just wait on me now, been through too much to stop right now. And I know, never listen to my heart. Back on the road cause I need a new start. Run down the street, I never ran this far. Spitting on my thoughts, never felt this hard. So pull up, baby, if you really wanna love me. I've been acting like there's nothing that'll stop me. Sipping on the vodka only turned me to a zombie. I never was the one to say that's enough for me. And even though it's hard, I'll never slow down. The winter's getting cold from where we go now. Feels like my heart is made of ice. Shit is slippery, baby, we're gonna slide. Cause all you do is run my mind, and all I need is to find some time. Baby, you know I don't wanna try. Don't make me lose mine. Don't make me flashing lights, can you see them when we're passing by? A lot of sadness what the past invites. I guess that's just another habit I don't understand cause they're not asking why. I haven't made it, it's a drastic time. My heart in pieces but you catching mine. I always knew that you would stand right by. Cause all you do is run my mind, and all I need is to find some time. Baby, you know I don't wanna try. Don't make me lose mine. Don't make me
Awesome. That was great. I've seen that a couple times, but yeah, no,
I
that
know
was
it was
great.
cool.
Props to
That
Nick
well.
for helping out, who's behind the scenes right now. But yeah, so unfortunately, that's all the time we have left for today. So a big thanks to Jamie and a special thanks to Veloso for letting us interview you. But
Thank you,
yeah,
guys.
Been a
yeah,
pleasure.
I think yeah, that's all for today. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you sometime.